So, what if an oracle deck wasn't about predicting the future, but actually about building it? In this explainer, we're going to reframe these cards into a seriously strategic blueprint for wealth. We're going to turn intuition into a practical tool, one that's perfect for anyone out there looking to build something that really lasts.
All right, first things first. Every good plan has to start with a clear-eyed diagnosis, right? So let's hold up a mirror to some of the most common financial and career frustrations. See if any of these feel a little too familiar.
Okay, let's start with a feeling many of us know: being unfulfilled. You're not happy with your income, you know you need a change, but you feel stuck. As the card puts it, there's this emotional attachment to a job that's no longer serving you. And that fear of making a move, it can be absolutely paralyzing. Or maybe you're on this constant financial roller coaster. That's what we call the precarious state. You have those good months where money's flowing in, but then it just disappears just as fast, leaving you right back where you started, with zero real stability. So here's where we shift our thinking. We're moving away from any kind of mysticism, and instead we're treating these cards as a high-precision diagnostic tool. It's all about taking those gut feelings, that sense of being unfulfilled or that precariousness, and turning them into cold, hard data points. Think of it as mapping your own internal psychology to real-world business challenges. You're basically weaponizing your own intuition for success. Right. So that feeling of being unfulfilled or always on edge financially, that's not just a bad mood. It's a data point. It's a signal telling you that something in the system is broken. And once we have data, we can finally move from just feeling the problem to actually finding a solution. We can build a blueprint. So let's dive into this blueprint. It's built on 3 core pillars. First, you've got to master your financial mechanics. Second, you need to develop a real entrepreneurial mindset. And third, it's all about scaling up with smart growth and operations. Okay, let's start with pillar 1, financial mechanics. Look, before you can even think about growth, you need a strong defense. This is all about building a fortress around your cash flow. This really shows the two-front war you're fighting in financial defense. On one hand, you've got the daily, known instability of a precarious situation. But on the other hand, you have to be ready for the big, unexpected crisis that could come out of nowhere. A truly solid defense prepares for both. And you know, it all comes down to this one single, unbreakable rule. You can never, ever let more money go out than what's coming in. This is the ultimate financial red line. It means being brutally honest about your wants versus your needs. Because the moment you break this rule, you're not just overspending, you're financially bleeding out. So, with our foundation secure, let's move to pillar 2, the entrepreneurial mindset. Now, think of this as the engine for your success. It's all about winning those internal battles that can so easily hold you back. You know, a lot of the time, the journey forward actually begins by looking back. Grief over a failed business, a lost job, or a bad investment, that can become a massive obstacle. So the first step is to consciously let go of what was, so you can embrace what's new and redirect all that energy to what's ahead of you. And what about setbacks? We tend to see them as failures, don't we? But what if they're actually a safety mechanism? A setback is just a data point telling you that you aren't quite ready to move forward yet. It's kind of like a gift, really, preventing you from making an even bigger mistake down the line. This brings us to a really powerful, non-negotiable principle. Are you maybe refusing to see the reality of your situation? Because building a business or a financial plan on a false front, on a lie, well, that creates a massive liability that will absolutely crush your bottom line. And all this leads to a moment of ruthless honesty. A lot of times, the biggest obstacle isn't the market, it's you. Your personal drama is getting in the way of your work. Taking radical responsibility for your own part in things is absolutely essential to clear the path for any real progress. Okay, so we've built the foundation and we've tuned the engine. Now it's time to hit the accelerator with pillar 3, growth and operations. This is where we talk about the strategic moves you need to make to build, to scale, and to multiply your earnings. Real growth, it requires a fundamental shift in your identity. You have to move from being the laborer, the one doing all the hard work yourself, to being the architect, the one who manages the entire system. The key to scaling isn't just working harder, it's delegating, and delegating effectively. So how do we do it? How do we scale? Well, it starts with a plan. You have to take a full financial inventory, get a crystal clear picture of where you are right now, and identify exactly what needs to change.
From there, your goal is to make every single day count.
Step 2 is to work smart. This isn't about brute force, it's about strategy. You've got to adopt a scientific approach. Clean house, both personally and professionally, so you're working from a completely clean palette. Just stop making things harder than they need to be. And this brings us to the final and totally non-negotiable step: action. A perfect plan is useless if it just stays on paper. Nothing, and I mean nothing, changes without execution. Do not procrastinate. This is the moment your blueprint becomes reality. So there you have it. These 3 pillars aren't just separate ideas. They are a complete interlocking system for total transformation. Each part supports the others, creating this powerful engine for building real, sustainable wealth. Let's just boil it all down to 3 simple, actionable steps. First, you secure your financial mechanics to build that solid base. Second, you heal your entrepreneurial mindset to clear away all those internal blocks. And third, you execute your growth plan with focused, relentless action. We've laid out the entire blueprint. The principles are clear, the steps are actionable. So the only question that remains is the one that matters most. What is the very first action you are going to take?